Alright, let's see what's in the gaming news this week. Kicking off this week is Clair Obscure Expedition 33, selling 5,000 copies in 24 hours. Then gamers said, hold my beer, breaking the 1 million mark 3 days after launch. This does not include Game Pass, and with 129,000 peak player count, and get this, managing to run out physical copies for the game. Even better, the distributors are also looking to restock the physical edition for all those who want to have a physical copy. And to quote the game's official Twitter account, our Monday meeting is gonna be wild. Thanks everyone. Now, this is not surprising, make a good game and people will buy it. As Nick Tech on Twitter points out, Expedition 33 outperformed the latest quadruple-A games from Ubisoft. The punchline here is both the CEO and the CTO are ex-Ubisoft employees. Make of that what you will. The hits keep on coming as even game journalists started writing articles how Expedition 33 proves that turn-based RPG games are still wanted. Directly contradicting what Square Enix, one might say the company that gets associated with turn-based RPGs, has been pushing for so long. For context, in 2022, Naoki Yoshida gave his reasons why Final Fantasy became an action-based game, and I quote, "One thing that we found recently is that as graphics get better and better, and as characters become more realistic and more photoreal, is that the combination of that realism with the very unreal sense of turn-based commands doesn't really fit together." Now, no matter how you look at it, this is a wake-up call for anyone who claims that Game Pass games don't sell, and that turn-based RPGs are dead. Both claims broken by a single game at a price of $50. It's on track to prove another recent trend in increasing the price of games. Higher game prices don't make better quality games. More on that later on. And now to move on to the other end of the spectrum, Marathon's alpha isn't going well. With close to 7,000 players, all-time peak, just to drop to less than 1,000 in the last 24 hours. That's on a weekend, mind you. The alpha was received so bad that Paul Tassi wrote an article for Forbes saying that the game should be delayed until 2026. Now, people might think that this is overblown, but when you include aim assist, quote-unquote, in an alpha that's played on PC, it's gonna raise a few eyebrows. Now back in my days, we used to call aim assist on PC aimbot. I think we should get back to calling that when it's implemented in PC games, don't you think? And not to be left out, the founder of the studio behind the game decided it will be a good idea to mix his content creation and game development gigs by praising Marathon without disclosing he founded the studio that works on it. At this point, things are not looking good for Marathon. Combine that with the $40 price tag, and people are gonna be putting away. Considering Forbes decided it would be a good idea to delay the game, you know where that's going, right? Moving on back in time with EA and David Gator, the creator of Dragon Age, where the creator shared on Blue Sky that EA always preferred Mass Effect over Dragon Age. He alleged that the marketing team liked it more and never knew what to do with Dragon Age. And a few hours later, starting a thread about his studio, Summerfall, and how it began. In the thread, he mentioned how Inquisition managed to burn him out from within about elves, demons, and mages, leading him to join the Mass Effect team, which says it was a big mistake. He kept getting feedback on his writing about how it was too Dragon Age, which implied that anything like Dragon Age was bad. I mean, not surprising considering this thread was made on Blue Sky, one of the biggest echo chambers alongside Reddit and 4chan, but that partially explains the continuous decline in the game quality over time for the franchise. Who knows, maybe we can get a spiritual sequel that does justice to the Dragon Age franchise. We can only hope. Now, let's go over to EA and peek under the hood. Oh look, layoffs. Between 300 and 400 employees were eaten out of the company, with 100 of them working at Respawn Entertainment, the studio that cancelled the extraction shooter in the Titanfall universe. The Titanfall fanbase might have dodged a bullet there, but no, seriously. How long was it since they had a decent game? Yeah. Not sure if I should be happy or sad for him. Now, Respawn tried spinning it into something good for the company. when in reality, a lot of people lost their jobs just before the company's earnings call. Place your bets. Will they say we have an increase in company earnings in there? My money's on yes. Discord requires ID or face scanning to access 18 plus content in the UK and Australia. This is because of the UK's Online Safety Act and Australia's proposed social media ban for anyone under 16 years old that takes effect in December 2025. The way it works, when you encounter a blurred image, you are prompted to either scan your face or your government-issued ID. A few minutes later, Discord will send you a PM telling you what group you are officially in. If Discord sees you're 13 or younger, they have to ban you because of COPPA. A good portion of Discord users also don't like it, as shown in the Reddit posts describing this. The funniest part is that you can use someone else's face from the internet to bypass this or use someone else's ID, making this whole system just as useless as the parents looking after their children. But oh, seriously, pretty sure I can break this thing in a matter of minutes with a smartphone and a picture of some old dude. In the frequently asked questions, it also mentions that once the scan is done, the vendor is deleting the information provided. Since vendors are mentioned, they are most likely going to be using stuff like Graded in order to complete the scans because Discord has a track record of banning people with baby faces. Solution is simple, really. Grow a beard. A man, grow a beard. Woman, grow a beard. Child, grow a beard. There are fake beards online. Problem solved. Now, let's dive into something that looks to break the internet when it launches. Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers is set to launch on the 24th of July, and it follows in the footsteps of Expedition 33. $50 for the game, $60 for the deluxe edition, and is a day one Game Pass release. The pre-order of the game also gives you 2 armor sets and a weapon with a skill upgrade item included, while the deluxe edition contains 4 armor sets, 4 weapons, and another skill upgrade. Now, side note, personally, not the biggest fan of pre-orders for any game, really, regardless of who makes it. I see it as potentially throwing away money. Then again, that's just me, however. If someone likes what they see and pre-orders it, hey, it's their money at the end of the day. They're free to do what they will with it. Now, considering we're getting this and Stellar Blade in June, PC gamers are gonna be eating good this summer. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room real quick. With Borderlands 4's new trailer hitting the internet this week, and the comments were a shit show. Oh, just reading them makes me wonder what went wrong here. I mean, a few things, but let's just sound off the best comments with, "This gives me Steam Summer Sale energy. Welcome to the Borderlands franchise. You're kinda joining at a low point." And went back to Borderlands 2 trailer for a big hug. Man, this does not good for the game. Now, will Gearbox turn this around without a delay? Highly unlikely. The release date is the 12th of September at the end of the day. But hope dies last. Here's hoping this is just a badly put together trailer for Borderlands fans out there. I mean, we can only hope. Now, speaking of hope, there is no hope for having a week without Ubisoft doing something stupid. This time, they were caught stealing players' data without informing them and used their EULA as an excuse for it. The non-government organization, None of Your Business, NOYB for short, filed a legal complaint against Ubisoft for breaching GDPR, Europe's General Data Protection Regulation, since the information ranges from people's gaming behaviors, when you start playing and for how long, even if it's an offline game. This data is still being gathered. NOYB discovered that in the span of 10 minutes, the game gave your data to external servers a total of 150 times. Some of these servers were Google, Amazon, and Datadog, while Ubisoft's EULA confirmed that it was just to provide players with a gaming experience, and it was sent to third-party analytics to collect information concerning your and other users' gaming habits on use of products. Ubisoft's customer support also claimed to do it for ownership checks. I mean, this also happened with Steam games, and Steam already does that, so yeah, that's a weak excuse. NOYB also stated that according to Article 6 of the GDPR, this sort of data collection is only legal if necessary, and spoiler alert, It's not in this case. If Ubisoft's found guilty of this, it will face up to 92 million euros in fines. Oh boy, shareholders are going to be pissed if they lose. Not like they aren't, considering the Ubisoft Tencent situation with their entity. On the bright side, Ubisoft stocks went up, so at least they have that going for them, which is nice. Now, I've waited this long enough. Let's address the elephant in the room here. Microsoft raising the price of all their games, consoles, and accessories. The prices are on the screen if you want to have a look at them, and will be in the source paste bin as well. To add to the price increase, they also mentioned that first-party games will jump to $80. This comes as a surprise to no one, considering they are following in the footsteps of Nintendo raising their prices, with the excuse being market conditions. Let's see if we can logic our way into specifically digital downloads needing to go up in price. First, what do we need for a game to be released digitally? Let's start with the basics. Making sure the game doesn't breach the release platform's terms of service, age rating, and certification, of course, with the age rating. Marketing, distribution setup, platform storefronts, dev account setup, store listings, and submissions, that crap. Setting up a release date, updating game and tracking analytics. Release cost, price to purchase, comparisons, all that jazz. Alright, what costs money out of the list of things? Marketing. Obviously, that costs money. Age rating and certification, yeah. Dev accounts. Dev accounts cost money on game stores. As an example, it's $100 for a Steam dev account. Side note, submissions for console may charge for certification or dev kits, but on PC there are no such costs. Updating, you're looking at localization here. I'm gonna just check into the updating bit. Now, out of all of that, for a digital release only, assuming you're not releasing it on console, I don't see any specific hardware here that would fall under tariff. Now, is this me making this an overly complicated way of saying they're doing this just for greed? Yes, it is. Will the game markets release games that cost half of what Microsoft and Co. are asking for? It already did. But wait, Rockstar Games is releasing GTA 6 and it was delayed. I'll get to that next week. Now, something that's been a long time coming. Polygon was sold to Valnet, and it's a massacre. Chris Plant, co-founder of Polygon, posted on Blue Sky, out of all things, that he is not working with Polygon anymore, all by asking if people are hiring to consider the many quote-unquote talented writers and editors on the market. Now, let's look under the hood with these quote-unquote talented writers. Yeah, about that. Looking at the official press release, it confirmed the sale, but didn't mention the layoffs nor the price. The CEO of Valnet, Hassan Youssef, said that it is with immense pride and gratitude that we welcome Polygon into our growing family of world-class gaming brands. Some of the staff also commented on this. The executive editor, Chelsea, also mentioned that layoffs included over 20 staff members, but she also claimed that Polygon was the best website out there. Talking about blowing your own horn there, lassie. The founding editor-in-chief also shared that Valnet allegedly refused to meet with him or answer any questions. Okay, no proof, but fair enough. Let's believe him on the surface level. Some external reporters also chimed in on this, such as Cecilia, a reporter for Bloomberg News, also calling this horrifying. And the commenters were not buying it. Danny D mentioned, if they were so great, they wouldn't have been fired in the first place. Give the man a medal, he got a point. Another writer also commented on this, calling Valnet the game journalism industry's equivalent of Satan incarnate. I'm pretty sure Satan incarnate just had a lot of people fired from him, but that's just me. There is some credibility to his claims, considering the rap called Valnet a sweatshop and got sued for it. Think of all of that what you will, but in the end of the day, if you go against your audience, things go south fast. Speaking of going south fast, we're wrapping this week with more Genshin VA news. This time Rick, a fellow YouTuber, is claiming that Hoyo never cared unless fans leave the game and uninstall Genshin to support the strike. On top of that, he is hoping it ignites the spark of rebellion. Someone has seen too much alt history Soviet Union stuff. Later on, he mentioned that he made a bigger statement on YouTube and claimed uninstalling the game was, and I quote, really fucking with me heavy. Yeah, that was the quote. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. You're not the only one. At the end of the statement, he rallied people to uninstall Hoyo games in order to spark a rebellion. Brother in Christ. Hoyo has China in its back pocket. Those people are paying ludicrously for the game. I mean, if the Western market does stop spending on gacha, it will hit Hoyo's bottom line a bit. Then again, we have China, and yeah, not sure how that's gonna fit into your plans, considering these guys are whales and a half. Moving on, there was also an email impersonating Very Berry Studios, in which they were urging people to join SAG-AFTRA. One of the replies showed the email in question. The email called people to join the union in order to protect all the striking VAs. There was even a mention that SAG-AFTRA members gain access to thousands of discounts at national chains and local businesses. The email also claimed that joining SAG-AFTRA gives benefits like contracts, collective bargaining, and eligibility for SAG-AFTRA health plan, the very same health plan that most members can't afford, mind you. I mean, I'm not even gonna bother with the discounts at national chains and locations and whatnot. That sounds more like a loyalty plan than anything else. Finishing the email off, it mentions that the individual receiving the email may become a voice actor on high-demand projects like Genshin Impact, ZZZ, and many Crunchyroll projects. I'm trying to wrap my head around this one, Chief, but I can't. And I'm not the only one, apparently. The founder of Very Berry Studio also asked, why did they rope Crunchyroll into it while crying, laughing? I mean, the guy's literally on the floor crying from laughter. Here I am trying to wrap my head around how dumb this sounds. That or I'm just getting old. Also, Scott, another VA, finally admitted that the stuff around Jacob Takanashi got way too out of hand. Boy, you think? And then instantly ruined it by calling him a scab. Yeah, that happened. Not only that, but with the same tweet, he claims that Jacob knew about the strike before he took the job and that his post was in terrible taste. Oh, brother, just reading this drains my IQ. He couldn't stop there, however. The chain of tweets that he posted, he compared anti-vaxxers to people who just report on what's going on with these strikes. Alright, I should start making badges with quotes like that. Who knows, they might actually sell on the internet at this point. Alright, after that brainbuster, let's pop real quick over to the last episode where we covered Venti's voice actor receiving threatening letters, but apparently there was a random Hoyo player saying, we will be demanding a recast and I pray to God you lose this role. Erika did reply that if it were her choice, she would have been voicing the whole time. She also mentioned she will likely join after 5.6 and will record voice lines that she missed. She also did mention that the strike sucked for everyone and we didn't vote on it. Alright, good news for Genshin players, but didn't we already establish that this isn't a strike? It's a collective refusal of work, which... oh, give me a break, will ya? Every time I dig for this, people just get dumber and dumber by the minute. Not to be left out, Cal McCarley on Blue Sky claims Hoyo has not signed any agreement that limits their use of recordings for the purpose of AI on any project, which is a response to a blog tweet. Yeah, that also is encouraging. Another person replied to him, showing that comment where Vanti's VA got a threatening letter, to which Kyle replied with SAG-AFTRA's ability to contact staff regarding violations of Global Rule 1, which, if found guilty, may result in fines, suspensions, or even a ban from the union. Now, keep in mind this is also the voice actor who voiced the protagonist of Mob Psycho 100 for the 3rd season. He wanted Crunchyroll to meet with SAG-AFTRA, to which Crunchyroll declined the offer. And once again, with a few less brain cells lost along the way, hopefully, Karina, Pinebaum's VA, had to rear her head into this, claiming that she wouldn't claim the letters were threatening in her opinion, then following up with, if you work non-union work and are union, the union could find out. All unions have union rules. Ain't that counterintuitive to your claims, considering most union members broke these very same rules, as pointed out by commenters? I'm glad I'm not the only one calling this crap out. This also implies she knows what's in the letters, but both parties refuse to share the contents of said letters. Another editor also mentioned how Karina turns on her fellow voice actors when they don't bend the knee. I mean, I can see that happen with everything that's been going on around Paimon's voice actor, and how she basically went on the offensive on this whole SAG after thing. Eric also mentioned that even FICOR actors are getting those letters. When Shop asked for what basis they sent the letters, Erica just admitted she doesn't know. She also believes everyone's getting these letters to follow all the strike rules, even the quote-unquote suggested ones. Yeah, there goes my brain cells. Cal McCartney allegedly got his hands on one of these letters, and instead of showing pictures or any documents, he wrote it out on a Blue Sky thread. I mean, there's no confirmation as far as I'm aware. What is this? The letter Eric received? Or somebody take a picture of the damn letter and post it on the internet already, please. Well, on the bright side, once again, the Chinese community reacted to this drama. And oh boy, the comments were spicy. The first commenter even went as far as saying, "This house named SAG is already damaged to literal rubble. How can it get destroyed even more?" With the original poster replying, "This house still has a basement left, lol." Alright. The man is cooking. Oh boy, at this point, these clowns should stop, or Hoyo should start recasting en masse just to get back to normal. Or maybe not. I mean, the Chinese player base has some bangers and I'm all for it. Anyways, now on that funny note, on this note, we're calling it here for this week. If you like it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, dislike, comment, subscribe. You know the jazz. You know the drill. I'm off.